Hey everyone, Kyle here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to start a social media marketing agency, and I'm going to be giving you guys a full course to teach you exactly what you need to know. I'm going to give you the most valuable information and leave out all the fluff to have you starting a social media marketing agency and ultimately grow your business and start a business. So before I get into this, if you're an investor looking to make another source of passive income, my company White Tree Capital does exactly that. Go to whitetreecapital.com, fill out the form, and speak with me. So let's talk about the 3 things that are absolutely crucial to starting a social media marketing agency. So when you're selling social media marketing agency services, it's just like going through a job interview process. What you're going to want to do is set meetings, turn those meetings ultimately into offers, and provide your end client or customer a good reason to work with you. So really, there's 3 things that are extremely important to starting your social media marketing agency and exactly what you need to know. So first, there is appointment setting, and this is, I should say, appointment. Let me make sure this is spelled right. Appointment Zoom setting. So in 2023, it's much better to set up Zooms with your potential customers. Before, phone calls could work. I think Zooms are a lot better just because it's a lot more personal. So I highly recommend setting Zoom meetings. The next part after that, and let me go ahead and erase that, is turning meetings into customers. And then finally, the last thing is what you're going to offer them. So let me go ahead and do this. So offer creation. So let's talk about appointment Zoom settings. So ultimately, the goal, I would say, is you want to be setting 1 appointment per day minimum. If you're setting 1 appointment per day, you're on a really good track to start scaling your business and start getting customers. So that looks like 20 appointments per month. And I'm just doing this based on your typical 5-day work week. So that's going to be 20 appointments per month, which is important to understand. And there's 6 main ways of generating appointments. First is going to be outbound. So number 1 is going to be outbound. Number 2 is going to be earned media. Number 3 is going to be paid media. Number 4 is going to be owned media. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. 5 is going to be word of mouth. Let's zoom out again one more time, zoom back in. And then number 6 is going to be partnerships. So these are going to be the 6 main methods of setting appointment meetings. And I will quickly walk you through exactly what you should be doing to generating appointments and results you should expect. So outbound is going to be calls, emails, and DMs. These are going to be your 3 main methods of generating Zoom meetings for your social media marketing agency. So it's going to be cold calling, cold emailing, and then DMing on social media. You could DM really through LinkedIn or Facebook. Both of those work great. But really what you need to understand is you need to be doing 100 outbound messages per day, either through calls, DMs, or email. So 100 outbound messages per day. Calls, you're going to either get direct dial numbers. So there are a few tools you can look at. There's a lot of different contact information tools, or you could just directly call the business, ask to the person who speaks with marketing. And this is exactly what you're going to do for cold calls. You're going to give him just a quick greeting. So just if his name's John, you could just say, "Hey John, how are you?" And then he's usually going to say, "Good, who is this?" And then you just go straight into your pitch and ask for a meeting. So, "Hey, my name is Kyle. I work with ABC Marketing. We're helping other local plumbers in the area generate more leads. I'd love to give you a free digital marketing strategy for your business to help you grow it. Would you be open to having a Zoom meeting with me later today or sometime later this week?" So that's the exact 3-step framework. Just a quick intro or quick greeting, give them a value prop, and then give them a good reason to hop on a Zoom meeting with you. The best one I like is just saying, "I'll give you a free digital marketing strategy for your business." And then third is ultimately make the ask for a call to action. So ask them when they're okay for a Zoom meeting. In terms of getting contact information, this is the tool I use. This is seamless.ai. So what you could do is you could just search for specific business owners. So let's just do CEOs. We'll do exact match. We'll do industry. Let's just do construction for this, just to keep it pretty simple. And then we'll do location, Utah. So I always recommend in the beginning to starting off local, and then you could go more global once you have a good case study. So I just did CEO, make sure this is put there. We'll do CEO, founder, president, owner in construction in Utah, and let's see how many results we get. So we have 800 people we could sell with this. Usually I recommend having at least a few thousand contact information before you start selling to someone. So let's just do this find right here, and I'll show you kind of how it works. So this one, we didn't get a direct dial phone number. We did get an email, but let's try to get one with a direct dial number. So as you can see, we get a direct dial number, we get an email, and we also get the socials. So this is a good tool to use to start prospecting. So I definitely recommend something like this. If you have absolutely no money at all, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to just have to use Yelp or Google Maps to find local businesses. And all you want to do instead with this direct dial, the strategy I would use is just say, his name is Chris. So right when he picks up the phone, hey Chris, how are you? Like I said, and then he's going to go, good, who's this? And then you just go straight into your value pitch and ask for a meeting. The difference I would do if I'm selling on Google Maps or Yelp is I would just call up the business directly. If you're doing this, you're going to have to sell to smaller companies, but all you want to do is you want to call them up and just say, can I speak with the person who handles the marketing at your company? A lot of times you're not going to get past the gatekeeper or the person who picks up the phone, but if you have no money, there's not really a lot of things you could do. You should definitely invest into a tool that gives you direct dial numbers, that gives you email addresses, and gives you social media accounts for prospecting. So that is exactly what I do for outbound. What's important, like I said, is 100 plus messages per day. And then if you're setting one appointment with that, you're on a really good track for starting your social media marketing agency. Next is going to be earned media. So this is creating content. This is something I don't really recommend for someone who's just starting out in social media marketing, but it definitely works. Essentially what you want to do is create video, audio, word, and photo content. When you're doing content marketing like this through earned media, like YouTube videos like this, don't expect any results for 6 months. It takes time to build your brand, to build a following, and to get SEO results. So what you want to do with this is create content. You know the platforms to post it on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, your own podcast, but what you want to do is you want to link back to your own landing page. So this is an exact landing page you could use to book Zoom meetings, but all you want to have is a title, a video giving you a little overview about yourself, and then a link to book on Calendly. So you could see mine. I have it for my 1 hour Zoom. And what they could do is they could go directly from your content into this. What's important when you're having a Calendly set up is you want to have something like name, email, phone number, and then you want to also qualify them. So you want to qualify them, make sure they have budget, make sure you're speaking to the decision maker, make sure there is a need for your service, and make sure the timing is right. So like I said, post on these platforms. You're not going to get any results for 6 months. I would definitely say start off with outbound first. Once you start making money, then you could invest into spending your time creating content and spending money on ads. And then paid media is going to be the same thing. For this, I've definitely generated bookings through paid media. What it kind of looks like is around $1 cost per click on Facebook and TikTok, and around $33 per appointment on these platforms. If you're doing Google ads, it's going to be a lot more expensive, but this is what I got from social ads. And again, what I'm doing is I'm running those ads to this page again, which I'll go back to you, with a title, with a video, with a link to book on Calendly. So that is your strategy for paid media. Again, you want to make sure with earned media and with paid media, you're properly qualifying your meetings before you get into these meetings. Next is going to be owned media. So this is if you have a lot of past leads or a lot of email marketing subscribers, but this is when you collect customer information and they allow you to market to them. So think of email marketing and SMS marketing. This isn't really a good strategy in the beginning. This is a strategy you can use to re-communicate with past leads that have spoken with you or worked with you or you had a Zoom meeting with. Just make sure you're doing email marketing and SMS marketing to follow up with them. Finally, we have word of mouth. So this is a great way to generate appointments. And really what I would do to generate meetings through word of mouth is ask after you close someone. So this is my favorite time to ask for a referral. Right after you close someone in a Zoom meeting, you could ask them, are there any other business owners who you think would get value from my particular service? And this is a great way to easily generate appointments, especially if you ask them at the right time. And then finally, the last one is partnerships. And again, I wouldn't personally rely on this for my business, but how this works is you could partner with a similar company, say a web development company or an app development company, or maybe a graphic design company. You could partner with them to pay them for the leads they're generating, or maybe swap leads with each other. Just make sure you're doing everything legal and just make sure you do your proper research. Again, I don't think this is the best method, but it's definitely a method that works for some social media marketing agencies. So partner with other biz. So now that we talked about the exact strategy, you understand for setting Zoom meetings. Like I said, the goal is to set 1 appointment per day, 20 appointments per month. Now let's talk about turning your meetings into customers. So the goal for this is 1 in 4 Zoom meetings turn into customers. And this is the exact KPI you should follow. If you're not closing 1 in 4, you probably lack sales skills. So you need to make sure your sales skills are up to par and the offer you're giving them makes sense for them. So with this, you should be generating around 5 customers per month. If you're doing that with your social media marketing agency just through outbound, that is really strong. And once you're generating 5 customers through that, you can start investing into earned media and paid media to start really generating a lot of appointments and meetings for yourself. And really all you want to do in this Zoom meeting is first qualify them. So how I qualify in the beginning is around 5 to 10 minutes in something called BANT. So make sure they have budget, authority, need. Let me put this on a new line. Budget, authority, need, and timeline. And what this is doing when you ask these questions to make sure they have budget to invest in something like this, you could just tell them up front, hey, this usually costs around $5,000 per month. Our goal with this is to generate you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per month. Is that out of your budget or does that make sense for you? So that would be the first one. Next is authority. So make sure you're speaking with a decision maker. And exactly how you do that is just say, so let's just say you like the service we're offering. Would you ultimately be the one to make the decision, or would you need someone else in the process to make the decision? If they need someone else, you have to run more Zoom meetings after this person. So just think about that. Maybe you want to set up a Zoom meeting with all the decision makers in place. Third is need. So just make sure they either want the results or they have a problem that they want solved. And then the fourth one is timeline. So again, you could just say, let's just say you really like for the exact service we have, would there be any reason that the timing isn't right? Is there any budget freezes? Are you not looking to grow your business? You just want to make sure the timing is right. And then right after you qualify them, all you have to do is a simple slide presentation. And this could be anywhere from 8 to 12 slides, but you really just want to go over why you would be a perfect fit for them. And again, you don't have to make this rocket science. Just talk about past customers, results you've gotten for other people, what you've learned, your experience, your team, stuff like that. Just make a good slide presentation. And then the last thing is you want to give them a price and close them. So the final part after this, after you know you're speaking to the right person that you can actually close them, you give them a slide presentation. And really what these should be is around 45 minutes to 1 hour. And how you do this with pricing is you just want to say, perfect. So now that I've showed you everything, how our pricing works is it's $2,000 a month, it's $5,000 a month. Based on everything I've just presented with you, can you give me a scale of 1 to 10 where you're currently at? And how this looks like is you want to temperature check them. So like I said, you want them to give you a rating from 1 to 10. And how exactly you want to ask this is say, based on everything we presented with you, can you give me a rating? 1 being I'd never use this service in a million years, I don't like your company, and 10 being this service is perfect for me, you completely understand my business and I want to work with you. If they give you a rating of 5 or below, it's going to be very hard to close these people. If they give you a 6, really a 6 or above, How you want to handle this is you just want to say, great, so it seems like you see a lot of value in this. How do we ultimately make it a 10? And what you're going to have to do is just clarify some things or handle some objections. And what you should do is you should learn about the best way to handle objections, but don't learn too much. Just go into these Zoom meetings and start pitching someone and asking them to do business with you. So give them a rating, 5 or below. Again, it's going to be hard. 6 or above, you just want to clarify. And then once you clarify, you just say, based on everything I told you, are you now at a 10 or do you need further information? And just keep on looping through that until you ultimately bring them to a 10. And that is where you turn them into a customer. And then finally, the last thing is you just want to collect credit card payment on Zoom. And this is important just because it's a lot easier process to do it this way. A lot of people talk about proposal and sending something out. This is how you lose a deal in my opinion. You want to make a streamlined offer where you collect credit cards. So it could be $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month. If you're working with super profitable niches, could be $10,000 a month, but usually it's in that $2,000 to $10,000 a month. So now let's talk about the last part, offer creation. So like I said, usually the best is around $2,000 to $10,000 per month for your services. Make sure you can get results for them. This is super important. People are not going to say if you don't drive them an ROI. Every single business owner needs to make a return on their investment. So if you're not comfortable with this, maybe work for free for a few people, build out case studies, build out a model, but don't work too long for free and don't procrastinate too much. Just go out into the marketplace and try to close people and make other people money. And now the final thing I want to talk about are niches you can work with. So I wrote down an exact list of different niches and I'll walk you through if I think they're good ones or bad ones. So let's go through each of these. So agriculture, and let me tell you my exact process for choosing niches is $50 minimum product price if they're selling a product, $500 minimum service price if they're selling a service, non-commodity. So this means if the only factor of it selling is the price, something like gold, something like oil, something like eggs, something like milk, these are all commodities, so marketing really doesn't work for these. And then finally, the last thing is mass appeal. It can't be too niche. Like we'll go through in a few of these and let me just make sure this looks good. So this is my criteria for choosing a niche, but I'll walk you through each niche that I think is good and tell you exactly what I think about each of these. So first is going to be agriculture. I think this doesn't have enough mass appeal, so this is going to be X. Business services is a yes. This, you just want to make sure if they're selling a service, it's over $500. Construction, again, yes, over $500 service. Consumer services, a lot of these are going to fall under that $500 price point. So things like barbers, tattoo shops, I don't really think are good businesses. So I would say no to this. Next is going to be education. So really how this would work is people selling courses. I don't think the course business is that good. So I would X this out. After that is going to be energy, utilities, and waste. And all these are extreme commodities, so I would say no to this. Next is going to be financial services, so I would say yes to this. Just make sure you do your proper research. I know there are definitely regulations for marketing financial services, so just make sure you do the proper research. After that is government, so this is going to be a no. After that is going to be healthcare services, so again, just make sure it's a $500 minimum service. After that is going to be holding companies, which is just going to be one of these other companies, so we'll just X that out. After that is going to be hospitality. So this is going to be things like hotels. I do not like this because I think it's too much of a commodity in my opinion. After that is going to be hospitals and physician clinics. So I wouldn't sell to super big hospitals, but I definitely think privately owned practices can definitely work out. Insurance, definitely a good one. Law firm and legal services, good. Manufacturing, I would say again is too niche, so I would say no to this. Media and internet, content really doesn't have a price over $50, so I would say no to this. Minerals and mining, too niche, so I would say no to this. Organizations, I'm not sure what this means, so I'm just going to X this out. After that, real estate, so definitely real estate agent, realtors can definitely work out pretty nicely, so this is going to be a yes. Retail, so retail is a for sure yes. E-commerce is my personal favorite niche, so going to here. Software, so this one is a little bit challenging. If it's really well-funded software companies, then I would say yes. If it's startups, I think they're too risky, but if they're really well-funded, then I would say go for it. Telecommunications is too much of a commodity, so I would say no. And then transportation is, again, too much of a commodity, so I would say no for this. So let's just walk you through some of the ones I think are good. Construction, definitely good. Financial services, healthcare services, physician clinics, insurance, legal services, real estate, retail, and well-funded software companies. So this is the exact guide you guys could use. These are the 3 things you need to understand. And breaking this down, just like I said, 20 appointments per month, 1 in 4 Zoom meetings turn into customers, and that gives you 5 customers at $2,000 to $10,000 per month. And once you start doing this and start making money, you can start taking that money and investing into things like earned media, paid media, even owned media to further grow and to generate even more than 20 appointments per month. Once you're starting to spend money on earned media and paid media, really the sky's the limit for both of these. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some value. If you did, subscribe, send a like, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below.